Hello and welcome to Body and Mind Uncensored. We're your hosts, Kelli
and Taleese. Combining 26 years of nursing experience, we're dedicated to sharing our expertise in mental health and women's health with as many people as possible.
The topics discussed in this podcast are based on our educated opinions and real-life experience and should not replace advice from your healthcare team.
Hi, Kelli.
Hi, Taleese. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I am also doing very well. Thank you.
I feel like we say the same thing every single time, so I'm going to start coming up with a different thing to say. Like, hey, Kelli, what's the favorite thing you've had to drink this week? And then Kelli would say, wine.
I actually found a new Powerade Zero.
Okay.
And I've only found this at Winco.
Sure.
I don't know if this is anywhere else. It's strawberry smash.
Okay. What do you think the smash is in it? What does it taste like with strawberry?
It just tastes like strawberry. Maybe strawberry lemonade, maybe a little bit. I usually drink the blue ones, and that's my go-to. But I saw this at Winco, and I thought, oh, I'll try it because I'm all about changing it up. I love it. So where can you get
Powerade
these?
Zero. Strawberry
Powerade
smash.
Zeros. Yep.
Winco. Love it.
Try it.
That's your favorite drink for the week. Okay, can I share mine? Sorry.
And a couple of glasses of wine.
Yes, that's what I thought you were going to say. I was totally taken back by the Powerade. I've been on a lemonade kick. And so maybe if you think that tastes a little bit like lemonade, I might be more inclined to taste it. But I've been mixing lemonade with Fresca, lemonade with Diet Mountain Dew. In my opinion, lemon is like one of the last things that says that you've aged. Like that you've reached senior citizen is when you like butterscotch discs and lemon and the tart things.
I like lemon stuff. I feel like that's a childhood thing.
Do you?
Isn't it?
Not
like tart?
Not in Idaho.
No?
In Idaho. No, I guess and with my nursing background, this is my theory on it, is that as people age, their taste buds are they're desensitized. And so in my theory, this is why old people love lemon, is because it's one of those strong flavors that just makes their mouths pop. And so that's why I attribute it to old people.
Maybe. Well, my kids like lemonade too, so I don't know. Speaking of taste buds, so on our episode today, we're talking about body image, right? And all things related to how we feel about our body, things that we do to our body to make us feel better, our physical fitness. And I think my taste buds have changed. I don't know about yours.
Oh, yeah.
But we might as well just get into it right off the bat. So I have struggled for much of my adult life with my weight. And a couple of years ago, I ended up having a gastric bypass after trying...
Whoa. How many years?
December of 2022. So a year and a half, I guess.
That's crazy. It's been that long.
I know. But I had tried keto, HCG diet, just watching
Remind us
what
about
I
the
ate.
HCG. Let's talk a little bit about these, because I too have done keto. I've done HCG, Weight Watchers a couple times. You've done Weight Watchers, right?
I never did Weight Watchers.
That was my favorite.
See, I don't love counting calories, so I wanted to do things that I felt like don't really need to count the calories, don't need to do all that. I can just track what I eat. And that kind of was a little bit more simple for me. So trying to track points and figure all that out, portion size, like that was...
Thanks.
No,
I guess I had
like
a handy tool that kind of made it easy. What I liked about it is that I could not eat anything all day or just 0 point things, so that I could save it if we wanted to go out for sushi or a nice dinner. Then it was still included, and I loved that part because I felt like I was in more control of what I was eating. What else have you tried?
Were you successful on Weight Watchers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I know some people that really were, and that's great.
I mean, obviously I fell off the wagon because that wasn't the last thing I've tried. Yeah, what? Oh, HCG. Oh. Sorry, I cut you off with that.
Oh, no, that's okay. We can come back to it.
Okay.
Other things that I tried, the cabbage soup diet.
Never tried that one.
What
was that? I mean, is it just like it sounds? Mm-hmm. Just cabbage soup? That's what you get?
Cabbage soup. Yeah, you make a huge pot of cabbage soup. And then, I don't remember, there's like other things that you eat
alongside
with snacks.
Yeah.
But that's your main thing that you eat.
Did it make you gassy?
Oh, yeah.
I would think so.
Gassy, and you just, I don't know.
Bloated? Like just kind of
it's been a hot minute since I did
Mm-hmm.
that one. I don't even know if it's still a thing that people try. I've done drops in my water, Atkins, which is similar to keto.
I remember the first time I met you, you were on a diet and you were drinking a green
greens. Yeah,
smoothie.
just greens.
Is it just greens? Is that what it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a health and wellness kind of company who makes body wraps.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah. And so I tried wrapping my body to get rid of my fat. They had a colon cleanse thing. Yeah. I've done a lot of things. And I was the most successful on keto. And I was doing keto, and I was going to the gym every day for 1 to 2 hours a day and doing really well. And then COVID hit.
Down it went.
Down. Or up it went.
Up
the scale went. And I ended up gaining more back than I had lost, or than I originally was at before I started keto and going to the gym. So that was really frustrating to me. And then after that, I just tried to eat better, eat healthier. I'm not a huge soda person, so giving up soda, that's not hard for me.
And see,
I've
I
always
love
loved
that
water.
as a treat. If you're going to put me on a diet, that has got to be something I can still think of as a splurge or a treat and reward myself with. Not even in that case, right?
No, soda makes my stomach ill, like even before my gastric bypass. So yeah, I tried all the things, and then I went to my doctor, and he's like, you can try this. And I had known others with an experience, and they had been really successful, and I never thought I would go to surgery as my resort, but I have loved the experience. It's not been easy, right, by any means, but I'm down 100 pounds since my surgery. And I have maintained it, kept it.
If I had a react button, I would have the clapping hands.
I might be able to add in some clapping hands.
Oh, good.
But I want to clap for myself. So
I don't know if we've told you guys, but we are on camera for each other, so it does feel like we're more talking in person. So when I wink at you, that's when you would push the button to celebrate yourself. See if you can give the round of applause.
I'm not very good at self-promotion, so
nobody would know. Nobody would know who's controlling that button.
Taleese is doing all of the editing, and she is in control of the applause button. That's been my experience with my weight. How about you?
Similar. I didn't really struggle with weight until, I would say, after my first baby. Before that, I was active. I was working every day at a fast-paced job, had a baby. All of that came to a screeching halt, didn't sleep at night, just going through the motions of all that, and just probably started eating more unhealthy, grabbing something quick, unfortunately, and then that just compiled onto bad eating habits. Mm-hmm. But yeah, over the years, I've tried keto or Atkins, kind of the same thing, HCG, Weight Watchers. There was it's new. I tried it actually a couple of years ago. Octavia?
I heard of that one.
And that one is where they ship you like the packages. It's like a plan that you can have one of these for breakfast, and pretty expensive, about $800 a month. By the way, I still have some in my pantry if anybody would like it. Because if you stick with it, it does really work.
Does it expire?
I don't know. I've used one within the last month.
Okay.
I made one just for fun because I thought I'll try that. I wanted something that had some nutrients in it. Like you, I've tried everything. Lose weight, some were more successful than the others, gain it back, and then some, and then just feel like it's hopeless. And so I did, like you, I had a sleeve, except for I went the crazy route and went to Mexico. And just like you see on the movies, it was just like a cash handed over across the desk, placed under the knife. I got to tell you, that was one of the...
Was it scary?
That's what I was just going to say, is that's one of the scariest days of my life. I did have my husband with me who had the same thing at the same exact place with the same surgeon. Usually I'm not that big of a risk taker. So he lived through it. And so...
What made him take the risk? Did he know somebody that had done it at the same place?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll have to confirm with him, but I believe so. And then,
because you didn't even know it was an option through insurance until I told you that I had mine paid for through insurance, right?
Mm-hmm. Very true. So went to Mexico. The scary thing is at this point in my life, I had been to nursing school. I'd been a nurse for a handful of years, worked as a nurse with surgical units. So I knew all about the things that could go wrong, but not Mexico. So I'm laying there and people are lined up and I would see them come out of the OR and the doors would swing open and they'd have all the instruments and they'd drop them in this big sink where we were laying. And they were taking us in one by one, and you'd see the gurneys go, and then people would come out with this just horrific look.
Were the alarm bells going off like, infection?
Yes.
What?
Like, I got to watch these tools right here to see if they use them on any. It was a nightmare. And I was so far into that point, I don't know if I would have dared back out. It was very scary. I lived, did not have a single infection. Everything was great. But that could be an episode in and of itself.
And your story is not the norm, right? I mean, maybe this facility was good. I've heard a lot of horror stories coming out of surgeries from Mexico, though. And a good thing to know is if you do go that route and you do have health insurance, if you come back to the States and you go to the ER for post-op, because there's nobody following you post-op, right? Correct. So if you have a post-operative infection, the likelihood of them paying for that claim is kind of low. Did you know that?
I did. It worries me. Yes.
Yeah.
So I did that in 2018 and still gained weight back.
Not a magic thing.
It's not.
Like,
it is.
It's
It's just like if you bought a hammer and set it on the table and never used it, it's not going to work. And that was the same thing with this tool. You could eat through it. I couldn't eat a lot, but I could eat a lot of the bad things. That's what was hard. So in January, I decided that I was tired of this fat just sitting there, getting smaller and larger and back and forth. I thought I'm just going to remove this crap. So I had liposuction, which you're awake for. So that was not one of the scariest days of my life.
Okay, can I tell you, I was shocked when you told me that you were awake for that and they just gave you just a pill to take to release or to suppress your anxiety, relax. So I used to be a surgical tech. We've talked about this. I have seen liposuction done on many patients. None of them were awake. They were all under some type of a sedation. So I'm shocked that we are to the point where we are doing liposuction while people are awake.
In office.
In the office.
So
how did that go? What was that experience like?
To be honest, I think it was pretty safe. I really do. There were some places that they were really hard for them on my abdomen, the front of my stomach. And that was, I believe, because of having my gallbladder, my appendix, hysterectomy, my sleeve, a lot of scar tissue. And so that brought tears to my eyes and I cried. That was the worst part. That was hard. They had to push harder to get through the scar tissue to get to the fat. So that was hard. But I would do it again because I don't regret it. It was a good decision. It isn't for everybody, but I was to the point where I was ready.
With how it turned out?
Yeah.
Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, I think so. It's just like the sleeve, right? Like I have to still do the work because anytime you get liposuction, they can only ever get up to 60% of it. And so it doesn't get rid of all your fat. And even if I were to go back and have them try again, they would only be able to get 60% of what is still there. Of course, it would leave a lot smaller percentage.
Get rid of all of your fat. Like,
right.
Fat is there and for a good reason, right?
To be honest, this wasn't visceral. Like, this wasn't down in the organs at all, kind of liposuction. And they put, like, an emulsifier is the best way I can explain it. They inject that into your abdomen and let it sit there for about 45 minutes with some lidocaine that does kind of a very light numbing, and let it sit there and kind of do its thing, and it breaks it down and it makes it so that it is easier to remove and you get a better result from it. So yes, I would do that again. And I did want to say this about the sleeve, even though I think total I lost 60 pounds from it, which is still excellent results. And then I gained probably half of that, a little bit more than half of that back. But what I have loved from this sleeve, that if I don't ever lose another pound because of it, is that it has created this permanent portion control. So even at my worst times, it still kept me from eating just what I used to eat, which was frustrating, right? Because I was like, well, why am I not losing weight? I'm eating less than I ever have, and your body just adjusts to it. But I do like that because meals are cheap. Yeah. That's the bottom line, right? That's what I was trying to get to. I'm a cheap date.
Yeah. I'm definitely a cheap date. I shared my little cup of wine with Taleese, and it just fit in my hand, and that was my cup of wine last week to make me a little tipsy because I am a cheap date too.
It was the cutest thing.
One thing with the gastric bypass, people think that this is a huge thing. You're just going in and you're reducing the size of your stomach. It's more than that. It definitely, I mean, yeah, you are reducing the size of your stomach, but it also affects your hormones. Did you know that? So the hormones from your stomach to tell your brain that you're hungry or that you're full or whatever, it changes the way that they communicate with your brain.
I remembered what we were going to talk about.
What did you remember?
Ozempic. Ozempic. Yes, that. I'm actually on that currently. I don't take it as often, and it's my very last bottle. So am I not using it the way I should? Yes. Is it still working?
Has it helped you?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it still is kind of an appetite. It's very expensive. Yeah, exactly. And that's why.
Because you have to pay out of pocket for that. Mm-hmm. Most insurances are not covering that for weight loss.
Correct. Although this is my opinion of it, I think it's a type 2 diabetic drug. People use it for weight loss. And in my opinion, it should be paid for by insurance, because if it keeps you from developing type 2 diabetes, why not, right? Like, why are we waiting till we get to the point where you need that drug because you already have diabetes? If it works to help lose weight, let's do it.
I'm a little on the fence because I know somebody who has type 2 diabetes, and because all of these medications are being used for weight loss,
there's a shortage.
They do not have access to the medications that they need to manage their
completely
diabetes.
Agree that they should come first. Completely agree.
I think what needs to happen is there needs to be more supply to hold,
especially
that demand.
Since it's not cheap, right?
It's not cheap.
If I had the means to be making that stuff in my garage, I would be out of my garage in a week. I'd be in a big old warehouse because I would be able to charge an arm and a leg for it. So why aren't people
on the black market?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what I did want to say is that was part of the promotion I got with the lipo, was a free 3-month supply. And so that's where I've been kind of dragging it on and having it last as long as I can. But yeah, I do enjoy it. It makes me feel better. I like it. So this episode might just be strictly on fad diets.
So I know you wanted to talk about the HCG. I don't remember all of the details. I know were they drops? Is that the one? Did you did HCG too?
I think there were drops, but I did injections.
Okay, yeah, I knew there were injections. I did the drop, and then I don't remember even what all of the details were. Like, you just did the drops or the injections, and then
I don't either.
It's been a long time. I think I did that diet 2008, 2009.
I probably did too. I think that sounds about right, when I had my last baby in 2002. So
yeah,
probably still dealing with the baby fat.
Thinking back to when I know you mentioned you had issues after your pregnancy. I left the hospital in my regular clothes. I've never been a very small person. I think like 8'10", size 8 pants, maybe 10.
Like most of your adult life?
No, like when I
teenagers, early marriage, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yep. But I think because I was in the military and I was so in shape. Right before I got pregnant.
Yeah.
So I only gained 27.5 pounds with Caitlin.
That's amazing.
And so I birthed her. She was 6 pounds, 13 ounces. So there went maybe whatever
and the
percentage
fluid
that
and
is.
The placenta.
And the fluid and the placenta.
Yeah.
I walked out of there in my normal clothes. Like, I didn't even have to buy maternity clothes when I was pregnant with her.
You're making a lot of women mad right now.
I know. I'm so sorry. But so my issues with weight started after. So I was thin when we lived in Connecticut. I think it wasn't until I moved back to Utah. So she was about 2, and I was a single mom, and that's when you start to eat unhealthy. And I'm sure I had some depression going on because I was a single mom, trying to work, trying to figure out life. And I started eating, I used to go to Costco and Laffy Taffies.
I love Laffy Taffies, Kelly. The big ones.
The big box. No, well, back in the day.
Yes.
Do they still make those?
Yes, they do.
But yeah, back in the day, those big ones were good. But the Costco ones, they had a huge box.
Yeah.
And I loved all of them but the bananas. And I would just sit there and watch TV while my daughter played.
Pill one back.
Yeah.
Did you laugh at the jokes at least? Did you read the jokes?
Oh, yeah. I always had to read the jokes.
That's a good one.
So Laffy Taffies and just the cheap food that a single mom was making. And that's when my weight issues started. And then
a single full-time working. Let's not forget that, right? Yeah. Because you're not only too poor to buy healthy food, you also don't have time. It's the last thing you want to do as a single mom.
Yeah. So mac and cheese. My daughter still to this day loves mac and cheese because that's what we made because it was cheap.
Well,
I had different variations of mac and cheese.
It's delicious.
Yeah. And not just Kraft. I had different variations. We have what we call mommy mac and cheese.
Please tell. I want to hear because my husband has introduced me to a different kind of mac and cheese. So I want to hear yours.
It's not. I mean, we have so many different kinds, but mommy mac and cheese is nothing more than just noodles, butter, and cheese melted on top.
Shredded cheese, or like that
shredded cheese,
not powdered like it comes in the box. No,
not Kraft.
Okay.
And then mac and cheese and tomato juice. I grew up on that. Did you ever eat that?
No, but what I do, and I still do to this day, is macaroni and cheese and ketchup. So when you said that, it sounded... No. If you like tomato juice, you would love ketchup.
It's not the same.
It's like a cheesy marinara. No. It's so good.
My stepkids one or two of them put ketchup on their Kraft. No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's delicious.
Mac and cheese and tomato juice is just macaroni noodles. You cook them.
It's like goulash.
Pour in some tomato juice and make it like a little soup, and then you sprinkle cheese on top.
Add some hamburger.
No.
It's goulash.
Just no. So, yeah. So those kinds of things, obviously you're not healthy. Well, the tomato juice.
Do you have another macaroni and cheese add-in?
No.
Well, this is...
my stepmom always put hot dogs.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a pretty common American.
Yeah. In the Kraft.
Yeah.
What else
might have even been in a commercial some decade.
Probably.
Chili mac.
Okay.
And you add a can of chili. Yeah. That was new to me. And that just depends on my mood. I can take it or leave it. Mm-hmm. That was a tangent. I don't even remember eating unhealthy and your go-tos and Laffy Taffy.
The way that the weight just started piling on. Because, when you're a single working full-time mom, like you said, it is hard to find time to go and buy healthy meals, to prep healthy meals. I just wanted to come home after work and getting my daughter from daycare and just veg.
Yep.
So,
get it.
So,
I did want to add, I was looking up HCG, and I'm surprised that neither one of us remembered this part of it, because this is a huge part of the HCG diet, is that you're only allowed 500 calories a day.
Oh,
remember? And the HCG is the suppressant so that you don't want more than that.
That's right.
But the common side effects,
I wonder why that didn't work, right? Why don't these diets work?
You can't, long term. You can't sustain them.
Yeah, so why eating, you can eat 500 calories a day. You're going to lose weight, obviously, because you're not putting your calories in. Mm-hmm. But you're losing
muscle.
Things.
And that's why it's easy to gain more.
And then when you go off that diet,
now you have room for more fat.
You're feeding me.
Yeah,
you're giving me calories. I'm going to store this.
This saddlebag's empty.
I don't know when you're going to go back to eating 500 calories again. So I need energy stored in my fat pocket here to use when you're going to starve me again.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're not wrong. Diets.
I will starve it again. They're not wrong.
Yeah, because you're going to find the next diet. Same with the cabbage soup diet, right?
Yes.
Did you look that one up?
I didn't look it up, but I did see.
You eat cabbage soup, you're not getting a ton of calories. Obviously, you're, again, depleting your body of what it needs. And when you do give it what it needs or what it's craving, it's just going to hold on to that even more. And you're just back to square one.
So this is just like the top 10 fad diets. One of them is grapefruit, which does have cabbage soup listed underneath a grapefruit diet. Were you a part of the grapefruit diet, or yours was more limited,
No,
restricted.
but we did cabbage. I do remember eating grapefruit though with it. You could eat fruit.
Boiled egg, bone broth. Let's not forget the Zone Diet by Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
40% carbs, 30%
That was
protein.
by Jennifer Aniston.
Made popular, I should say.
Oh, okay.
South Beach. Did you ever do South Beach? Paleo.
I bought the South Beach book with the intent of doing it, but I ended up doing Atkins instead. So I'm sure I have a South Beach book somewhere around here.
Number 10 on here is Special K Diet. That's interesting. Came out in the early
cereal?
2000s. The goal was to lose 2 gene sizes, which I do remember those commercials. Do you? And the measuring tape.
Around the K. Yeah.
Yep. And then for 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, and then a regular dinner. Yeah. Or Special K products in lieu of the cereal.
Very interesting.
Tell you what.
Well, and you mentioned Slim Fast. Like, that was a biggie.
Oh, I love Slim Fast shakes to this day.
Did you ever try any pills?
Yes. Yeah, I know I did. Can you remember what they are? Fen-Phen.
Isn't that what killed... so many people died on Fen-Phen, right?
Well, I think they took it off the market because it was damaging their heart, their cardiovascular.
It was phentermine and something else.
Yeah. And they took the phentermine off the market, and you can still get the second part of it because a lot of weight loss clinics still give that. What was it, though?
I don't remember.
All that comes to my mind.
Yeah, it killed a lot of people. So Fen-Phen was gone. Yeah, I did try phentermine for a minute.
It was a good one. I liked it.
I got that prescription from my doctor, but it really didn't help me.
It didn't?
I didn't really see a difference there.
I did. It was a good one.
One of the first things that came out was Ally. Do you remember when Ally came out? Gave everybody explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
I never tried it.
There's
I knew somebody that was using it, and complained all the time of diarrhea.
Well, and that brings us to the Olean, or what was it? Like where potato chips were fried in this new grease, and that gave everybody diarrhea. But it was supposed to be less fat and made potato chips a little bit healthier, or like a diet potato chip.
Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. This is interesting. So everything back in the day, everybody said low-fat diets, right?
That was one on the list, a low-fat diet.
Everybody said low-fat is the way to go.
Because if we want to lose fat, we shouldn't ingest more fat. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. No. But there are so many sugary additives to make that stuff that's low fat taste better, because the fat gives the flavor, right? So there were so many other additives to that, like sugar and other things, where that was really the problem, was the sugar.
Right. That we do need fat in our diets. And I mean, honestly, diets are going to work and they're not going to work. They're like tools, but everything comes down to moderation, in my opinion. So I was just looking up fad diets over history. This one,
okay, I
gotta admit, I think I could get behind. I think I could get behind this one maybe for a day. But it's the chew and spit. You just get it in there and you just masticate it, which means chew, right?
Yeah,
I didn't use that wrong.
I love masticating.
Masticate the food up, get the savory
and then you just
goodness.
Spit it out. Like you don't
until all the goodness was extracted, and then spitting out the fibrous material that was left.
Okay, where are you extracting that goodness to? Here's my question.
Your
like,
mouth.
Because your saliva, your mouth, does not break down and put into your body.
Yeah, I guess you just get the juices. You don't get
it has to get to your small intestine, because that's where everything is absorbed, right?
It said this diet also meant only defecating, going to the bathroom.
Never?
Once every 2 weeks, and it was nearly odorless. It was described as smelling like warm biscuits. If that doesn't make you hungry.
Oh, when was this
Here's
diet?
another one, the tapeworm diet.
When was this?
The turn of the 20th century.
That is crazy to me. How much wasted food. And especially back then, stuff was not cheap, right? I mean, you're talking about maybe Depression era?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Okay. And people were consuming 0 calories, so they're going to lose weight.
Just the juices you swallowed. you know? I guess if I
Zero
could turn
calories.
that piece of cake into liquid, there's nothing to spit out. So then another one is the tapeworm. You've heard of this one, right? I think I could
No.
get behind this one. You've never heard of the tapeworm diet?
People intentionally ingesting a tapeworm?
Yes, ma'am. Placed
No thanks.
for them in the 1900s.
No thanks. Nope.
At some point
What
during
about-
this podcast, we need to talk about how it's more of a mental game, which I'm sure our listeners have put
Yeah.
together with me being okay with all these things. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I mean, you just have to think about, okay, you don't have to have a degree in nursing or nutrition or things like that.
Dietitian.
Like, I get it. There's fad stuff all over right now, especially on TikTok. And I mean, my son the other day said, I want to get this patch because it'll give me energy and it'll help me lose weight. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about this patch. What's in the patch? So he pulls up the website. We were looking to see what kind of nutrition facts were on this patch or what this patch included. Could not find anything as far as what the ingredients were on this patch. And we're looking at over $100 for these things. So my advice is just don't fall into a fad. Obviously I have. Obviously you have, Taleese. It is so hard, especially when somebody's telling you, oh, you're going to lose all this weight. I mean, I see commercials all the time showing Kelly Clarkson. I see, and I don't know what
I
she's
think
done.
she was Ozempic. I mean, that's just the rumor mill.
But I had an ad come up on my phone of her holding some pill bottle, and Dr. Oz was holding the pill bottle. And those things can be superimposed too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't fully trust it. But there's so many things out there. Do your research. Make sure that you know what you're putting into your body. What are the effects? Yeah, the effects are going to be maybe immediate, maybe a couple weeks. But when you're off of that or when you can't maintain that, that's where you get in trouble. Sorry, that was my little soapbox.
No, that's an important message to make. And that's why a lot of these we haven't heard of, right? The younger you are, you may be thinking, these were diets? What do you mean? It's because they didn't last. They didn't work. They're fad. That's what the meaning is fad. It'll die quickly. It may come back around, but they don't last because you can't maintain them. And so you end up falling off of them.
You're spending a lot of money supporting these companies who are promising all these things that are not legit. So please, please, please be careful of who you're giving money to and what you're doing because they're just ripping you off.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, you're good. Vinegar. Vinegar is still pushed to this day. I see ads for it as far as the vinegar diet. Do you see that?
Oh,
or vinegar
the apple
cap?
ACV? Apple cider vinegar?
Yep. Yeah. Have you ever tried that?
I did not. I know apple cider vinegar is good for you.
Yeah,
It's got
exactly.
benefits,
And that's what
but
they say. It's like
to-
an appetite
Appetite suppressant.
appetite suppressant.
To have a diet around that though, like you have to have a well-rounded plan. You can't just center it around one certain
No,
idea.
it's all moderation. Right. If I could only take my own advice.
And I don't fully believe in the food guide pyramid either. I know that they've kind of debunked that a little bit. The food guide pyramid that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Like eat this amount of bread. Like
Now
if
it's
you
a
look
lot
at the
less.
pyramid-
Yes.
Yeah. They've kind of flipped it on its head because they've realized, okay, these aren't the right things. So fruits and vegetables are good. Meats are good.
When you
Fats are
think
good.
back to that pyramid, what food item do you picture it the most on? Does anything pop
Crackers?
into your mind? For me, it was Wonder Bread. For
Yeah.
some reason, I can just picture it being on Wonder Bread or
I
cereal.
do remember it on bread too. Yeah.
Which is, back then, it was a larger portion of the pyramid. So why not push that? Now we all know carbs are not the answer.
Well, and not just carbs, because carbs can be good.
Good carbs. Processed carbs. I'm so sorry. Processed carbs.
Yes. That you
Simple
want to
sugars and-
increase your complex carbohydrates. So your fruits and vegetables, wheat bread, multigrain,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. Less white, less processed.
The worse it tastes, the better it is for you.
I like wheat bread though.
Do you really? I guess I
Yeah.
think that the further away from white bread, the drier it gets.
I'll have to show you what I'm using because it's not dry. It's good.
Yeah, I'm going to say, prove it. I'd love to try some moist, healthy bread.
Moist bread.
Moist
I love that
bread.
word.
I did
No.
find some gluten-free bread that I thought was so delicious. It was homemade. I loved it. It was good.
I mean, I guess what you're saying about taste, like when you're getting away from the sugary kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, sugary is going to taste better, right?
Well, and salty. And even though, I mean, it's so hard, I'm so guilty of this. Like, I will buy fresh vegetables. I know you grow them. I hope to aspire to that one day. But who doesn't want to put butter and salt and pepper on it? Right? Like, salt is a flavor enhancer.
You can have salt.
You can
Salt's not bad.
in moderation, right? Like,
And
that's the thing, is it helps
isn't
it
bad
taste
for
better.
you either.
Moderation. And I should say that I'm not meaning in moderation. I'm meaning to make it taste good.
What's one of your biggest condiments that you're like, oh, I could eat this condiment all day and it's not healthy?
Probably Chick-fil-A sauce.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a hack for that.
I love Miracle Whip. I do. I know.
Okay, I don't have a hack for those. Well, I do have a hack. So ranch dressing. I love ranch dressing.
Which a lot of diets, even like Atkins, they allow that, right? These keto diets.
I know how to make it high protein. Do you want to hear my hack?
Please.
Because I found these amazing crackers that are low carb, and I'll just dip them in some ranch. So good. It hits the spot. So a small tub of cottage cheese, a packet of ranch dip, throw it in the Ninja blender, whip it up till it's nice and smooth. I have no idea that it's even cottage cheese. It tastes just like ranch. I love it. It even has like a little saltiness to it.
What crackers?
Cottage. They are Townhouse. Oh, the ones that I loved, they don't make anymore. So mad. These are Townhouse pita. Sea salt.
Okay. And those are probably, with the pita, a lot more crunchy too.
They're good. You should try that. It's a good hack.
It does sound good.
And it's high protein.
We should do a hack episode.
We should.
We should write food hacks or other hacks. And let's talk about, or write them down as we think about them so that we have things to talk about.
Okay. One last thing I wanted to kind of talk about is physical fitness. So we've talked a lot about diets. You can diet all day long, but unless you're like actually trying to burn those calories, even the 500 calories that you're putting in, if your calories in are greater than your calories out, you're going to have weight problems, right? So like I said, when I did keto, I was going to the gym all the time, 2 hours a day. I was doing cardio, which now I know cardio was not great for weight loss. And weightlifting, I loved doing Zumba classes and bar classes. So I think just find something that you like doing that's fun. After, like I said, COVID hit, kind of got out of the gym and looking for things that I had liked to do in the gym. So I like dance stuff. So there's always Zumba and things like that. But I bought myself a rowing machine and I thought that that would be good because it's a full body workout. And I had never done a rowing machine until I had my gym membership. And I took a class and we were doing rowing. And I remember after that rower, like my whole body hurt. My arms, my back, my butt, my legs.
Your abs.
My abs, like every single muscle. And so I have a rowing machine and I love it. Unfortunately, I don't use it as much as I should. I need to. That's one of my goals. But I love the rowing machine. And so finding something that you kind of really like to do, I love it because I can get a full body workout done in 20 minutes and I feel good. So what kinds of things do you like to do?
So my husband and I bought e-bikes last year. They are pedal assist and throttle assist, so you can work as hard or as little as you want, but we really try and do a long bike ride, but pedal and throttle half so that we can go farther, but still get in some exercise. And like you, we do own a rowing machine. And a few days ago, I said, Jeremy, let's put that rowing machine right here in the middle of the floor so that we are walking around this. And I have for the last 3 days, I've been rowing. And so when you brought that up, I was like, yes, I can say that I have been. As you know, Kelly, we have a vacation coming up, a pretty once-in-a-lifetime vacation. And that's why we moved it out to our main living area, is because we got to kick it into high gear.
How are you feeling after doing it for 3 days?
Good. I like it. I'm like those memes or those GIFs that are like, you feel like you ran up the stairs and you should be seeing results. I'm like that. Like, oh yeah, I mean,
you don't
that's
have
doing
the patience.
Yeah. No, I don't have the patience. You know me.
Yeah. It's hard, and I think that's another reason why people fail these diets, right? Because they are hard. You have to stick to like this specific plan, and that's why I always failed diets too. Make it simple. Just reducing portion sizes or watching what you eat and changing little things, I think, go a lot farther than being so strict to where you're like counting calories and doing all these crazy hard things. It doesn't need to be crazy hard. You just need to start.
No.
And
It
the
doesn't
same
have
with
to be
exercise.
hard. Sometimes I look for a new program to binge, and one that I hadn't seen for a long time was Wife Swap. And I love Wife Swap because it is just polar opposites, and I'm always like, which one would I be? Am I the controlling freak? Am I the sloppy, lazy? Like, which one do I relate with in this episode? Anyway, on one of them, obviously this isn't the one I was relating with, but this exercise guru, like her motto was never waste an opportunity to burn calories. And so I have been really trying to think about that. And when we get in the pool, I'm like, okay, I'm going to paddle back and forth. I'm going to get these legs moving. I'm going to stop and take a bio break during work, and I'm going to row for 5 minutes. And that's what I've been trying to do, is not let an opportunity go to burn calories. So thank you, 80s housewife.
I loved water aerobics too. I found water aerobics classes when I was going to the gym, and they were so fun. My husband would make fun of me like, that's the old lady workout class. But I loved it because it's low impact. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But afterwards, all of the resistance that you get from the water, you
Exactly.
hurt. So,
And it
I don't
keeps you
think it was an
cooler.
old lady. Yeah.
Right? Like, that's one thing I really don't like about exercising is
Sweating.
just the overheating. I flush. I'm somebody who, I just get this beet red face, and I hate that.
I do too. Beet red, dripping sweat. Like, I'll have my hair up in a ponytail and it looks like I just got out of the shower. It's so
Not
gross.
me. I wish I would. I think
dripping.
that's why I'm beet red, is because I don't sweat like that.
I'm beet red too. I'm beet red, sweat dripping down my back. It's gross. I have to have a towel to dry myself off.
Not me.
So gross.
I mean, I do have the back sweat that drips down, but
Yeah. So one thing we didn't talk about is plastic surgery, and we can talk about this another time, but just along with body image. And
I really think we need to have an episode on body image. I think this one should be just called Fad Diets Aren't Rad Diets or something. Just like something.
Okay.
Don't you think? Like,
Okay.
just kind of
Yeah,
take
we
out the
can do
body
that.
image part of Yeah.
Yep. We can
Okay.
do that because we kind of went on a different track. So yeah, totally.
And it was
good
fun
one.
to go through
It
fad
was fun.
diets and what we've...
Yeah.
But what
life
were you going to say?
experience. I don't know what I was going to say.
You were going to say about plastic surgery. So do you want to save that
No,
for... I mean, we can talk
I
about
guess,
it. And...
yeah, we can maybe tease something, but with the weight loss, right? When you lose a lot of weight, like I didn't have a ton of weight to lose, but 100 pounds is quite a bit.
That is
You
a
end
good
up
thing
with
to talk
some
about.
Loose
Skin. Yep.
Maybe your boobs don't look the same. Maybe they look like deflated
Because
water
boobs are all
balloons.
fat. So when you
Or
lose
your-
fat, it's going.
Or your butt. Maybe you're a little saggy in some places. So what kinds of things can you do or have you done? And it doesn't even have to be related to weight loss. We all have things about our bodies that we don't love. Yeah,
That is
let's
something.
talk about plastic
That is
surgery
something
later.
we should talk about later, because I do like it. I would love to talk about opinions. A lot of people have a negative opinion on plastic surgery, but
And there's people who are completely addicted to it. That they just can't get enough. They're never going to be happy until they've done it all. So, yeah.
which I would
Totally.
like to tie into these fad diets, right? They go hand in hand, and I'm guilty of it. It's like I'm going to try everything until something works. And I feel the same with plastic surgery. It's all mental, unfortunately. For me, it is, right? That's what drives me to fad diets. Wanting to have plastic surgery is me mentally not coming to peace with who I am.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Do you have any words for wisdom to end our episode today?
I do. This is a shout out or in honor. How do you say it? I'm going to dedicate this to Taleese, because Taleese needs to hear this. Work out because you love your body, not because you hate it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You have a body. It is yours for life.
Yep.
Love it or hate it. Maybe
It's
you'll have
yours.
days that you hate it. Maybe you have days that you love it. But you got to take care of it.
It's a
Be nice to
love-hate
yourself.
relationship.
It is. But it's you. So love yourself.
It's been fun talking about fad diets with you, Kelly.
It has been really fun. And going back to all the crazy ones that I've done in the past. Yeah.
I'm sure
Awesome.
I'm going to have more come to mind. So as I do, we'll bring that up in the plastic surgery episode.
Yeah, it's funny too. I was just thinking, I don't know, this just popped into my brain. My mom I remember her doing some crazy diets too when I was really little, like some fatty diet. I don't remember what they were, but
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
fad diets have been
this
around
is
for centuries.
clearly- yeah, I mean, what was the one you were just
Yeah,
talking
turn of
about?
the 1800s. Well, one that I didn't get to, real quick, I'll mention was the arsenic diet, and that one. I mean, no surprise why that isn't still around. But yes, people have been wanting to be slimmer. Which, real quick, I mean, this might be the longest episode ever, but I would like to point out that through the ages, what society feels is a healthy image has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Definitely.
fuller, plumper women, that used to be a sign of wealth because you could afford to eat instead of starving. And that used to be a sign of wealth. And now it's not because it's expensive to eat healthy. And so now thin is more of a sign of wealth. And just from what I take from society, I just wanted to make that.
It is interesting how through the generations, what is the norm or the expected has changed so much. I mean, just social media alone, right? So, and we'll get into this in another episode too, but yeah, who we're seeing, who we're trying to emulate on TV, like the celebrities,
TikTok.
it's not realistic. And if I had all day long to work with a personal trainer or had the finances to work with a personal trainer,
A chef.
you better believe I'll be looking like them too.
But
Lost Taleese. So with that, no, Taleese is gone. I can see her, but I cannot hear her. So for another great episode, we'll see you on the next one. If you or someone you know has thoughts of hurting themselves or others, please text or call 988. They will direct you to someone in your community that can help. You can also call 911 in an emergency.
remember, you never know what someone else is going through. Sending peace and love to all. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook.